guys know what this load is, because I already told you. So pay attention. You guys are going 3,000 foot a second. I'm going to go one click left. Well, it
feels like you're getting punched in the face.
Got it again. I think I got it where it belongs. That time I flipped it up. Hit two. Morning, guys. Lencac here. I'm out at the range again today. Surprise, surprise. And I got some stuff I want to try. Just some different powder, bullets, rifle combinations that are basically new stuff to me. Trying some new load combinations, and so of course, as you all know where I'm at, there's a view you all probably have seen quite a bit, I would imagine. It's going to be nice today, pretty nice. It's about 60 degrees right now, so it feels good. And as usual, without remiss, there is the mighty 17-second Crown Vic. Best car ever made. It's too damn fast for its own paint. But this is what we're doing today, guys. I'm going to wring out the Steyr a little bit today. She was whining and complaining about not being given enough attention. Says, all right, you little trailer queen, you. And so I'm going to wring it out. I got some different stuff, powder and bullets I want to try with it today. So I got my chronograph set up, so we should be able to get some velocity readings. And so we'll see how all that goes. And of course I got my target set up down there as usual at 100 yards. And so that's about the drift of it. But is that not a spectacular firearm right there, guys? It is. That thing is quite a deal. All right, guys, let's get rolling here, do some shooting. Gonna wring out the Steyr a little bit, as you already know. And so what I'm doing today with some loads is, like I say, this is a combination I've never tried out of this rifle. The powder that I'm using is this Enderon IMR 4451. It's supposed to have a burn rate. It's interesting in the fact that it's supposed to have a burn rate like 4350, but they say volumetrically it's not the same, which means that you can't just go apples to apples there. It's not quite the same. So we're doing some checking with it because I don't see a 7.5x55 loading for this powder. But generally speaking, it would appear that the calibers that it does show listings for online and stuff, it usually sees like the 4451 on comparable loads is generally maybe a grain to a grain and a half less than the 4350 is what I kind of figure. So this first load I'm trying is, I've loaded it pretty much to the low end of the scale to see how that goes. Curious to see what the velocity will be. But this is, these are Hornady 165 grain SST bullets. I think they're considered a hunting round, but I don't know. We'll see how they go. They're a boat tail. And CCI Magnum primers. Looks like I have them seated 15 1,000ths off the lands. Our base to ogive is 275. Our base to the lands is 290. And these are in IAC cases. I think that's the commercial brand, but I'm not even sure if those are around anymore. But it's it's commercial brass. And so that's what we're going to start with. But this is a clean cold barrel. I've got a couple of different loads, or another load here, which I'm going to try in a bit too, which are 168 grain match rounds, 47.5 grains of 4451. But I've got 3 rounds here loaded with these with different cases. They're just stray cases. So one's Norma, one's IAC, one's Graph. So I want to use these 3 to get the barrel fault. Long story short. So let me start there, and I suppose it would be a good idea if I were to go over and get my dang to get my dang hearing protection, don't you think? All right. I've made that mistake before. And you only do it once in a session. Forget your hearing protection, I'll tell you that. All right, so like I say, these are going to be, I got some, the same load. This is 168 grain Hornady match on top of 47.5 grains of IMR 4451. And these three I'm going to use for fouling rounds, but I have a whole another batch that are actually all put together in NNY cases, commercial cases. And we're going to try those after a bit, but for right now, I'm going to use these. I'm going to use these three to sight this thing in. And I am going to start off here. I got this thing in about, let's put her up about there. I bumped her up to 18 power. Tell you what, I am going to aim at the lower right hand diamond. So here we go. Felt pretty good. Looks normal. 2377. That's what I thought. I thought they'd be probably a little bit lazy. See where it went. Well, I see it there. It's low, about 3 inches low from point of aim, and about 1.25 inches to the left. So, like I said, I'm just going to use these for fouling. Feels good though. It's not, believe it or not, I mean, this is a pretty big rifle. When you put a good healthy load in it, it's got some whack to it. 24, 23. All right, one more is pretty much about the same place. Obviously they're low. That one came over a little more towards center. Okay. And now that one I might have thrown a little bit. It felt a little bit dicey. 2394. Looks like they're in that 2400 range. That wasn't too bad. I think that was pretty much right next to my first shot. So, what I got here, what I'm going to try now is, I'm going to try these 165 grain SST rounds. Believe it or not, at the time I bought those, it was really the only thing that was on the shelf. But they're boat tail, they're in the weight range that I can use. And so what the hell, I tried it. We'll see if they shoot worth the shit out of this thing. More curious to see what the muzzle velocity will be. 46.5 grains of 4451. Didn't flatten the primer at all. I suspect it'll be a pretty low velocity. 2335. I would say we're 3.5 inches low. So let's spin up my McTurret here. Let's move her up 14 clicks. And she is showing a bias to the left, so let's give it 5 clicks to the right. All right, let's see where we go now. Nice gentle load. 2318. That's not too bad right there. That would appear to be your basic bullseye. Huh. A little bit low on velocity. Give me something to work on, you know. I can bump them up as time goes by. I got 2 pounds of that 4451 a while back. That was the only thing that was left on the shelf. And actually, I think it's, from my experience so far with using it in the Grunig some and in this, it seems to work pretty good. This has got a really good trigger on it. It's got a short little first stage, and then after that, I would say the pull is probably in the 4 pound range, but it's crisp. 2362. All right, it's there. It's in the diamond. It's not what I would call a great shot. I don't know if that was me or what. But I will say this, I have used these rounds out of my my 1903 30-06, the one that I built to be a 03A4 with the loophole scope on it. I wasn't terribly impressed with how these rounds shot out of that either. So we'll see, maybe it's just me. .2346. All right, I kind of split the difference between my first 2 shots. I think I want to bring it another click over to the right. And don't jump up on your shots, right, Jones? Old sneaky snake. .2315. It moved over to the right, so now I mean it's with this scope, it's hard to be a bad shot, I think. So maybe. See, the thing about it is that rounds that will fit in the Steyr will also fit in a K31 because of the width at the shoulder. The chamber on a K31 is a little more forgiving. I think I may do a video on that whole thing. But so if these rounds don't work that well in this, I might try them out of a K31 too. See how they do out of that. .2355. I'm not that impressed. What was that? Was that 5 there? 6? I think it was. That was 6. All right. I'm not terribly impressed with those rounds, to be honest with you. I don't know whether... I kind of had the same results out of my 03 with them. They just were not... I mean, not bad for hunting purposes. I'm sure they would work fine. For my purposes, I don't know. I suppose the jury's out. Then I'm going to try a few of these 168 grain Hornady match on top of 47.5 grains of 4451. And you already know what these are. These things are seeded 20 thousandths off the lands. Our base to ogive is 2,290, and our base to lands with this bullet is 2,310. For those of you that keep track of that kind of nonsense, because I'm sure everybody out there has one of these rifles, you know, so you want to know that. Lower left-hand diamond this time. $24.44. That's a lever right shot right there. I'm going to lever right there, so I can try a few of these guys. If I didn't know better, I think the battery on my Crony just went south. However, I have another. I brought one just in case. That's because I knew I was going to go dead pretty soon. All right, I got to do a battery change. I'm going to run down range. All right, there was my first 3 shots with my so-called fouling rounds. Those were the 168 grain Hornady match. And that was the first shot with the 165 grain. Made a scope adjustment. It came up to here, and then they were just kind of squirrely as hell. And this was the last 2 shots with the 168 grain Hornady match. And once again, not terribly impressive. And then my battery went dead. So we're going to go back, and I'll have to put a new battery in the chronograph. All right. Actually, I didn't have the battery plugged in all the way. It's just 9 volt. It wasn't snapped on all the way. So we still got some life in that thing. Let's see. I'm going to take and shoot 3 more of these 168 grain. So far, I'm not that impressed. I know this thing is capable of better shots than that, but I have at the same time, whereas like the Grunig or even K31s, they shoot everything pretty damn good, and some stuff they shoot spectacular. I think this is a little more finicky. I got some GP11 I probably want to try after I get done with these hand loads. This rifle actually was built and intended to be used with GP11 ammunition. $24.54. I'm going to click it back to the left. Your left, your left. Take a look. $24.39. I'm going to throw one more click of left it back into it. All right. 24, 34, 35. All right, I can see that. I don't know, marginal. I'm going to take 3 shots with these SST, these 165 grain SSTs. Same load, 46.5 grains of 4451. However, these are loaded into GP11 brass. Just curious, see if it makes any noticeable difference in velocity or anything. I'm going to shoot at the lower left diamond again. All looks good. 24.05. I don't know. That may have gone through one of my other holes there. I'll have to watch the video to find out. I like this scope for what I'm doing for shooting groups on paper, because it's got a real fine little dot in the center, and it's smaller than the bullseye on those that target I'm shooting at. So you can really well define where it's at. 2373. I see that one there. That was a good hit. Might be learning something about the difference between these cases and how they work. And these are the from the marks I put on the back of the head stamp. This is the third time these have been fired from the original loading in GP11, and this is its subsequent second reloading and firing. So it's 3 times. This case has been fired 3 times. .2384. You know, apparently it shot these Berdan primed 165 grain SSTs pretty damn well. Shot them noticeably better than the commercial brass, the IAC commercial brass. So I don't know. We're going to have to do a little more research and development here. So anyways, I'm heading downrange. All right, guys, they're in there and mixed in there. I think those 165 grain SSTs, they shot real well with that Berdan primer, or I mean that Berdan case. Huh. Noticeably better than the commercial cases. Huh. What do you know about that? And so I reset up my target here. I moved her down to 200 yards. Just kind of curious. Throw some rounds here, 200. Most of the time I bring a couple rifles, so I don't have time to really play around with it. But today I just brought the Steyr, so I'm gonna take some shots with it here, 200, and see what happens. And so, being that these Berdan cased SSTs, 165 grain SSTs, seem to shoot real well at 100, I'm gonna take some shots. That's why I left the center bullseye open, center diamond open, because I kind of figured I'd want to be trying this. Put 3 in. I don't know for sure, but I think it would appear that the Berdan cased rounds with the 165 grain SSTs and the commercially cased ones, it looked like the Berdan primed ones actually produced a little bit better velocity. Kind of interesting. Same powder charge. All right, take a shot. Center diamond, 200 yards. Take a look. It's hard to say. My spotting scope is not able to see it with my spotting scope. Let me see if I can see it here with the rifle scope. Can't really tell. I bumped the power up to all the way up. Should have brought my Swift spotting scope out. That thing would be able to see it easily. I guess I'm just gonna have to watch the video about which ones are which. Alright, that was 3 with the Berdan primed 165 grain SSTs. I'm going to try 3 shots with the IAC cases. Same load, just a different case. Same, installed at the same seating depth, all that. Alright, that's 3 with those. Now I'm going to try 3 with the 168 grain Hornady match rounds. Wait, I got one more. I got one more left in here with this stuff. Sorry. Forgot how many I shot, I guess. Yeah, as you saw, I showed you the post that I saw down with the Grunig the other day. Now that I've done that, the post is dead. I killed that post. I killed that nasty steel post. Yeah, take a look at that, guys. That's the top. It used to be on the post. That's heavy. That mother is heavy. The Grunig sawed that thing off of there. It's taken me quite a while to do it, but sawing that thing off in there, yeah. Wow, the Grunig finished it off. Grunig does that to things, you know. Tell you about shooting the hanging gong at 600 yards out at the Merlin range with the Grunig. On a called shot, I hit the chain and brought down the gong. They weren't happy about that. Alright, that is 3 shots with my 3 different variables I have here. You know, but now, to finish out this here little event today, I am going to shoot some GP11 ammo out of it. That's, like I said, that's what this thing was originally intended to shoot. And so that's what we're going to try out of it. I'm going to load up 3. And these are GP11 of 1992 vintage, which means they do not have the wax around the neck, where the bullet is. GP11s, I can feel it's a little bit stouter load. Of course, that GP11 from chronograph in them, they're in the 25-50 range velocity. Besides, it gets me a few more GP11 cases I can work with and reload. I have quite a few already, actually. They work very well. I'm just not quite sure how long they work for. That got is 3 shots at 200 yards with my 4 variations of rounds. I think I'm going to run down range and take a look at what it is. I can't see the holes from here, so I'll have to go down there to see what's going on. All right, guys, there's our shots with the 4 different variations of loads I have. I have no idea which ones are which. I couldn't see it from down there, so I'll have to watch the video and sort them out that way. But at any rate, that's what we got at 200 yards. Can't tell if that's good or bad. Doesn't look like there's any real group there. Well, it's hard to say. We'll see. When we look at the video, we'll see how it all turned out. Alright guys, I've done my shooting for the day. It was all very enlightening. And I've had better range days. I've shot better groups too. But nevertheless, bad day at the range is better than doing a lot of other things. But, you know, being that I can't put any of my rant videos on YouTube, because I'll pull it down. They pulled one down recently here that was like 2 years old, if you can believe that. I don't think anybody's watched that thing in quite a while. But, boy, they're on top of taking down that evil misinformation, right? Let me tell you something, guys. Y'all better be ready to prepare yourself to defend. You better be ready to defend yourselves. We have, and so I'm trying to pretty much, hopefully this is overlooked what I'm going to say here in this video. Maybe they'll take it down, maybe they won't if they find it, maybe they don't find it. But at any rate, what we have here is we have a satanically evil bunch of criminals that were criminally elected. The election of 2020 was a coup. And what you're seeing now is that they know they're going to take it hard in this next midterm election. And what you're seeing right now is the biggest shakedown of the American people ever. These are criminals, these are gangsters, mafia type. This is mafia type stuff. They are Brandon is obviously not in charge of anything. Probably doesn't even know where he's at, but nevertheless, these people are satanically evil. This is evil stuff. These are godless people that we have allowed to get the levers of power in our nation. The American people, and they hate the American people, they hate me, they hate you. They really hate humanity, actually, because it is satanic in nature, and satanically evil entities have been trying to destroy God's creation forever. Now, people that don't have any biblical understanding or no relationship with the Almighty God, I realize that all this intangible things that I talk about just doesn't register with them because they have nothing to register it with. People that do not have any biblical understanding or relationship with the Almighty God, they're not complete people. All right? I don't know if that offends anybody or not, but I don't really care. But at any rate, guys, y'all better be ready to defend yourselves and hang on to your ass, because what's coming down the pipe, I have a feeling, and it's greatly affecting my situation. I won't go into that, but these jackasses that are in there pulling the levers now, and the people that are ignorant and naive and gullible and stupid enough to vote for these people still is unbelievably. Like I told an individual, I won't say where or when, but I told him, I says, your inability, your ignorance of what's going on, or your lack of ability of understanding how things should and shouldn't work, your ignorance, your gullibility, your naivety is adversely affecting my well-being in this country. And I told him, I says, I resent you for that. And that's why I don't really want to be around you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't like people like you. And since I said that, I really haven't seen that guy in there since. Anyways, that's my range test today, guys. I hope you found it a little bit interesting. So I think it's time to go get some McBreakfast at Diner 62. So, all right, guys, this is Lencac over and freaking out. Later, guys.